For my visual literacy project, we decided to do an infographic that we would use to share our practice ACT results for students. A little bit of background. Every April, our freshman and sophomore students take a practice ACT at Neuqua Valley, and those tests are graded and flipped by the next day. We usually give the kids their results and give them a little bit of information about what those results mean. This year, we decided to share with them a print version of it that included an infographic explaining those results to go along with the presentation that we do. So we did this in a couple of steps. We started with Corel Draw, which is not a tool that I probably would have used initially, but it's something that our assistant principal that I was working with is familiar with. It has some great graphic tools, but there is some cost associated with it. So with that, we created this PACT infographic template that I have open right here. And this is the actual infographic part right here. There's a blank here, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But it basically walks them through what that practice means and on that test and some of their other tests in terms of college readiness. So it's a pretty good thing that we get a lot of great feedback from kids this year. So after we create that template, what we did is we pulled it apart and we broke it down into a Google Doc. And in that Google Doc, we pulled the different pieces of the template. Now, the reason we use Google Doc is we want to now be able to fill this table in with some actual data. So this is a table that we added through Google Docs, and we're going to fill that in with some actual data, and it's going to be individualized, personalized for each student. So we're doing about 950 sophomores and about 903 freshmen this year, if everybody's there to take the test or so. And we want to give each student their own copy of this, something that we can also share with parents and the guidance counselors can use. So what we did is we took that and then we used Autocrat, and we had to tag it up here. So this is what an Autocrat tabbed in table looks like. Now you're going to notice when you look at this one right here that it does go off, push it off the screen right now. That's why we had to do that first one first. But you put these tags in here that will match up with an Excel, or in this case a Google Sheet, with these different column headings here for those. And then you do what's called a mail merge. I'm not going to show you all the process of the mail merge, but if you look up Autocrat in a YouTube video, you'll be able to see how that works. And it's really pretty simple process here. It's all automated once you set all this up and get that sheet to do that. So what we did then is we scanned each of the tests using Mastery Manager. That gives us that Excel shell spreadsheet that I talked about. We load that sheet up into Google Drive, make sure that those categories match across the top. Okay, for those, we run Autocrat. Okay, and that Autocrat will actually put out a sheet that will look like this then. So you can see in this sheet right here, this is a sheet here where the results have been personalized. Now, this isn't a random student here who we replace the names for, but it would say their last name, their first name, and give them their student ID. And these are all passed out prior to us going through a quick presentation explaining to them what the results mean in terms of college readiness. So you get this nice infographic that they can share with their parents and kind of give them some good general information overall about the project. We like doing it this way this year because it gave us a digital copy that we haven't had in the past. In the past, we've kind of basically just printed out the results on a template that we had made and kind of made that fit in there, but it only gave us that print copy. We didn't have a digital copy, so we'd make two of each, but it involved us making and finding a lot more copies, and we couldn't easily email or send it along. Now we have a whole folder with one of those for each student that's searchable for those types of things. Like I said, Corel Draw is a nice tool. I don't know that I would use it in the future if it was just me, the cost of it, and there is a bit of a learning curve to using it. I struggled with it just a little bit for those reasons. I would probably look at using Google Drawings or even Canva, which has some nice things where you could create that, connect that to that Google Drive, and then use that as your Autocrat template for the future. But it was a good overall project, and we enjoyed doing it, and I think the kids have gotten a lot out of the results already, and our guidance counselors appreciate having those digital copies and not having to flip through a whole binder full of paper ones every time a kid loses one or struggles with one. I'll include a link to this visual literacy sheet right here that'll give you access to all the different templates and things like that. And of course, in the comments below, you can let me know if you have any questions about using Autocrat or Autocrat templates in this way.